Hello everyone, welcome to Rob's Rogues, and as you can clearly see here, I've got my Motor City Comic Con sweatshirt that my wife bought for me, so thank you very much, hon. This is going to be my haul from Motor City Comic Con, so I'm going to say this right up front here, this is going to be a longer video because I have a ton of stuff to show you. I cannot stress that enough. So somebody that's like, oh Rob, I really didn't need to see all the comic books that you bought, you just could have rattled them off. I'm excited to show these books to you guys. And yes, they're all basically going to be they're all going to be Batman. I'm just going to say that right now. All of these are going to be Batman with the exception of some books that I got signed, and I want to show that to you, and some sketches and some other stuff that I've got. So if you need to grab a couple sandwiches, a whole large pizza, some Monster or some energy drinks or Red Bull or whatever, be forewarned. Exactly a week ago when I'm shooting this is Friday, a week prior, Motor City Comic Con was going up in Novi, Michigan, and we went for 3 days. It's always the thing with the cons. It's like I probably could have done it in 1 or 2 days, but I took about 70 books to get signed, and I got almost all of them, probably 65 signed, and I thought that was really pretty cool, but I stretched them out over 3 days so I wasn't dropping like 20 books at one person's table to get signed. I'm also blaming me going back and getting some older Batman comics on 2 podcasts that I would like to help talk about. Batman Nightcast by Ryan Daly and Chris Franklin, a really cool podcast. And one that is just starting is the Overlooked Batman podcast. I'll make sure I'm saying that right. The Overlooked Dark Knight by Andrew Leyland and Michael Bailey. So because I've been listening to these 2 podcasts, I have some pretty big holes in some of my Batman collections, so I wanted to get some of those books. So A, I can read along with their podcasts, and B, it's Batman more importantly, and I've been wanting to get some of these older comic books in my collection, and now I've done so. So here is the sweatshirt my wife got for me. This is actually Motor City Comic Con's sweatshirt and t-shirt design of 2016. The 2017 one was a little more generic. My wife obviously saw the Batman 66-ish type logo and picked this up for me right as we were leaving. I'd kind of been eyeing it. It was $50, which I didn't think was too horrible. It's a really good quality, and so I'm going to do a lot of different cuts here as I set things up to talk about them. So again, I do want to say, just me being a collector, I want to share some of my books with you that I got signed, and like I said, my sketches and the prints that I bought, and nothing else to be like, hey, here's some books that I bought. This is the first comic con that I've been to where I didn't buy a single action figure at all. Matter of fact, I was not even tempted to go buy any. I think I went down maybe one aisle and kind of sort of looked at some stuff, so I don't know if I'm turning a corner and going, I think I've got enough for right now. Although on the channel you're going to see me review a ton of action figures very soon. I'm going to do a whole special of things that I bought last year and never reviewed and other parts of my collection that I say I was going to review and never reviewed. So anyway, this is going to be my haul, and it's all comic books. Every single thing you're going to see is comic books or prints of comic books or sketches on comic books. So hopefully you stay through this, and if you don't and comic books aren't your thing, I'm sorry, but that's kind of where the part of the channel is headed towards. So without further ado, let's get into the Motor City Comic Con 2017 haul from this guy right here, Rob's Rogues. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, before we get into the comic books, the other piece of paraphernalia that I bought, we bought 2 shirts. My wife got a Star Labs t-shirt from the Flash TV series, which I thought that was really kind of cool. And we got this Batman 75th anniversary t-shirt that I've had my eye on for a while. And it's so hard to try and search for shirts like this. Like, I want a t-shirt with all the different Batman comic logos. try Googling Batman comic logo, or, oh, it's a 75th anniversary of Batman with all the comic logos. Try and find some different variation of writing that in Google search and finding this exact shirt. So I wasn't going to the convention and going into Stylin's booth and going, this is the shirt I've been looking for, and it's so hard to figure out what the exact name of this shirt is. So I like this sweatshirt. I've got it up pretty high, so you can see, the Batman 66 logo there, and then just the different variations. That's my favorite Batman logo of all time, that guy right there. I've always liked that logo. One of the first comic books I ever picked up had that Batman logo on it, so I always thought that was kind of me. This one was always pretty cool. But, see the different ones going through the New Adventures of Batman. I think that's the 77, 76 cartoon series. So there's different variations of the Batman logos that were eventually used in comic books and different things. But there's a nice Batman and Robin from like the Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams type of a run here. You got Batman and the Outsiders, Batman, Dark Knight, and the Round Table, or the round. It's kind of hard to see because everything's all distressed here, but just all the different ones. And of course, it ends down here at the bottom with the Greg Capullo, Scott Snyder era Batman New 52 t-shirt, and then the current Batman book. So anyway, I just wanted to share this with you. So okay, now we're going to get into the comics. So hope you guys stick around, and let me know if you have any of these books and what you think. So all right, we're here at the comic books now. So again, I hope you guys enjoy this. Just a chance for me to share some of the books that I picked up, a lot of the books that I picked up. I apologize about the review lights with having them in the bag and boards. It's kind of washing some of them out. They look a lot better in their under the review lights, but it's just reflecting off a lot of light. Anyway, for another reason, I had kind of decided in my Batman collecting, obviously I can't get every single issue because I don't have $1 million to get Detective Comics, 27 or Batman #1 or whatever those are. So I kind of decided, like right before the Crisis and post-Crisis, kind of like with issue 400 is the line where I kind of drew and said, okay, I'd like to try and get everything 400 moving forward into modern current day in the Batman title. And if I can go backwards and get some of the older ones sporadically as I can kind of find them in dollar bins, I'd really like to do so. Most all of these books, the 20 some odd books that I'm going to kind of go through pretty quick here, other than just a little bit me talking, were all $1. There were a couple books that I paid a little bit more for, and I'm only going to denote one book that I paid quite a bit more because I'm blaming Nightcast for wanting to get this book. So I'm blaming you guys for getting that. But anyway, this is Batman. I was trying to thought. Batman 353. So this is, I believe it's the Conway run of Batman, and I'm trying to scroll through very quickly here on my CLZ app, and I believe it is the Conway run. Yeah, it's Jerry Conway and Don Newton run on Batman. I've got 2 issues of them. So here is Batman 354. Boss Rupert Thorne here is in this one. You kind of see Hugo Strange kind of imprinted here. I'm going to try to go through these pretty quick here. I don't want to bore anybody, but I'm happy with getting a lot of these books that I got. Batman 378, Batman 379, Mad Hatter story here. This is the one, and I put all these in order numerically. So this is what I'm blaming Nightcast for, because I said I want to start with issue 400. So this is the anniversary issue, and I apologize for the review lights kind of getting in there a little bit. Batman 400. So when it came out, it was $1.50. I remember seeing this as a kid, and I just didn't get it for whatever reason. The sticker here that you can't quite see is $25. There was another copy that was in just a little bit better condition. It was hard to tell, where, why one book was $10 more, why one was $10 less. So one of them was, like I said, was $35. This one was $25. And I bought it on a Saturday, and if I would have waited till probably Sunday, I probably could have wheeled and dealed a little bit more, but because I specifically, you know how conventions are, you ask for a book, so they already know that you want it, so they're not going to budge on the price. My wife is a lot better at that. But I started listening to Nightcast, and I thought, I always wanted to pick up this book, and then reviewing it on the Nightcast podcast, I was like, okay, I think I really do want to pick it up. The funny thing was, on Sunday, we're going through a different dealer, and they had this in here, and it was listed as $20, but the box said 50% off. So I could have got it for $10. You'll have that. You'll buy a book a little more expensive than what you wanted it, but I could have very easily not even gone to that dealer that day and had missed this book entirely. So I'm glad to have it in my collection, and I can finally say, okay, I have Batman issue 400, now let's try and go forward. So that's my long story for Batman issue 400. I picked up issue 403, 409, 414. Now, of course, I'm jumping a little bit here because I do have some of the books in between. Here is Batman 415. This is going into the Millennium storyline, which I never read Millennium. I know nothing about Millennium. Even being a big Batman DC fan, this was still right at the cusp of me buying and collecting comics that I didn't know about this event. So I'll be kind of curious to hear about Millennium through some of the podcasts I'm listening to. I already own this book. I got it for $1. This is Batman 416. Really one of the first meetings of Nightwing and Robin, Dick Grayson, post-Crisis. Now they're in the post-Crisis era of Batman. The book that I had previously was a little bit more beat up. I'd had it for much longer. This was $1, and it was in much, well, it says $2 up here, but I got it for $1, so it was much better condition. Batman 420. I would have liked to have found the rest of this series. I have part 4 of 4. And this is what happened to me in a lot of my comic book collecting. It always never seemed to fail that I would go buy a Batman comic book and I would be like part 2 of 4, part 3 of 4. I never found part 1 of 4, whatever the series was, so I inevitably just wouldn't buy it because I thought, well, I don't want to be in the middle of a story, not have any idea what's going on, rather than just buying it and continue to keep buying books. So I bought books weird. And 9 times out of 10, if Robin was on the front cover or I thumbed through it and Robin was inside the book, then I would buy it. So a run that I really, really like is the Wolfman Aparo run on Batman. So I think now I have the entire Wolfman Aparo run. It's one of my favorites, of course, that eventually ends up leading into him coming back and doing Lonely Place of Dying. If you've been listening to Robin, Everyone Loves the Drake podcast, which is my show, and you'll know how much I like that. So Batman 444, Batman 445, Batman 446. It was nice to be able to find a solid run in this. Batman 447. See where I'm going with this? Batman 448. Batman 450. I think I already have 49. Breyfogle and Grant. I have almost all of these. I was just missing a few sparse little books here or there. So here's Batman 470. Again, all these were $1. 472. 482, Doug Mintz, Jim Aparo run. 479, I don't know how I got that out of whack. There we go. So that was it for the Batman comics. So I wasn't keeping track there of how many I had. Another series I loved as a kid that my uncles had and gave some books to me were the Brave and the Bold series. So I've been trying to track down as many of those as I can find them. So here is Brave and the Bold, Batman versus and Aquaman. This is 142. Batman, or Brave and the Bold presents Batman and Hawkman. This is 139. I don't know how I got these out of order because I was probably flipping through them. And then I did get some other random Batman comic books. I'm trying to do the same thing with Detective Comics and pick up Detective Comics moving at a certain point. I'm just trying to find that sweet spot. This is the anniversary issue, the 500th anniversary appearance. This was a $5 book, and I thought it was in really pretty decent condition. So this is $5.26. Contagion. This is a series I would like to try and get. Some of these I saw with Robin, Tim Drake on them, so of course I wanted to pick them up. I liked the Batman Chronicles series, so that might be one I might pick up. But Contagion is a big storyline, so I think I'm either going to do it in trade or I'm going to try and find them loose. So here's Batman Chronicles 4. Shadow of the Bat, number 9. Tim Drake there. Young Justice. This is a series I'm starting to pick up now. At the time when this came out, it didn't speak to me. It should have, because it's a real fun series. So this is number 40. And from Michael Bailey and Andrew Leyland's podcast, the Overlooked Dark Knight era. They're getting ready to do this. They just did The Untold Legends of Batman issue number 1. I now have issue 2 and 3, so I was trying to find issue 1, and I had a hard time picking it up. This ended up being a $5 book as well. All right, so that is all of the single issues that I bought, essentially all for $1. There were a couple $5 and then a $25 book in the lot. So I'm going to reset this up, and I want to go through the autographs that I got, and I'll try and do them quick as we're going through. I'm sure this is probably going to be a boring video for some people. I apologize, but at the same time, I don't apologize. This is something that I'm very passionate about. I love collecting single-issue comics. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. We'll be right back with the autograph section from Motor City Comic Con 2017.